Hello, and welcome to another episode of Unboxing Women, where we explore the gender gap in the music and entertainment industry. If you're active in the music business, an independent artist, a musician, or are just curious about how it all works, then this pod is for you. My name is Micah Rose, and with me is my friend Dani. We are both independent recording artists based in Europe, and we are here to reveal what really goes on behind the scenes. You can listen to us on our YouTube channel and on your favorite podcast platform. Today, we are joined by Daniela, an actress and voice performer from Hamburg, Germany. She's been in the industry for over 12 years, starting with musical theatre and evolving into voice acting over time. She's also currently working on teaching projects, bringing theatre into schools as far away as Cape Town, which is absolutely insane. So, Dani, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. Great.
Let's just talk about the school project first, because that's something that happened. You did another one recently in Germany this time. So how do you come by that?
Well, I started doing projects for a foundation in 2013, I think. And it was always for children in regular schools who don't have a lot of exposure to music, fine arts, or arts at all, I guess. So the goal was always to give them the opportunity to be on stage, to have this feeling, to feel what it's like to have everything that comes with it. And not just listening to music, but, being active, doing something. Yeah. And that project is a great one, but two of my friends and I, we were not happy with doing projects that have a specific play that has to be performed at the end of the week. And we wanted to...
Of the week?
A week, yeah, 5 days actually.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's just 5 days, half days.
I thought you were going to say like at the end of the year, but no, it's just 1 week. Okay.
No. So it's far easier to do a play that's already written. And of course, it was rewarding and great for the children. And it was always nice to do it and interesting, but we wanted to do something else and give young people the opportunity to tell their stories. Because for me, the main reason why I started acting, singing, being on stage was to tell stories. That's what got me there. And, the older I get, the more it's become obvious to me that there's a disconnect with the children who are like 12-ish, 12, 13, 14 years. And the stories I think are important are not necessarily important for them. So why not giving them the agency there and say, okay, what story do you want to tell? What's important to you? And that's the idea.
All right. So if I get it right, a play that's already written, of course, people might know it, people might have seen it, and then they reproduce it. But in this case, you want them to actually, well, I don't want to say write a play themselves, but to reenact a story of their own. Is that correct?
Yes, they do everything. They do the writing, they do the choreography, they compose the music, everything.
Wow.
In 7 days. That's 7 days because it's just impossible to do it otherwise.
Yeah.
That's insanely fast.
Insane.
Yeah. Oh my God, I have so many questions.
The project is called Show Me Your World because it's what we want to do. And our first project was in Cape Town in 2019, right before the pandemic. Yay.
Oh.
Yeah.
You had that professionally filmed though, didn't you? So we can leave a link to that down below in the show notes.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Thanks.
Good.
So if you want to check it out, do that.
Well, we try to film it professionally and we have a lot of material, but the post-production didn't work out that well. So what you can find there is what I put together.
Yes, I remember there were some issues.
Yes, if post doesn't work, do it yourself. That's also what I learned. Yes.
Oh my God, yes. I'm sure we can dive into this as much as well. But why don't you just tell us, because you already kind of started telling us how you got into the industry. Why did you decide to do musical theatre? What drove you? What still drives you?
What drove me was absolutely stories. Being in the stories I loved. as a kid. So why just listen to something, or why just reading it when I can be in the story? That was a very romantic view at that time. And when I got into it, of course, I realized, yeah, that's not how it works. But that's what got me in this industry and why I wanted to do it. And especially in musical theater, it's not as free as being a recording artist where you do your thing, follow your passion. And in musical theater, you just have to do what somebody tells you to do, right? And that wasn't as rewarding as I hoped it to be.
And in what kind of plays have you played? Anything we know? Anything we should know?
I did a few musical theater productions here in Germany, but you wouldn't know them. And I never got to do the huge productions. Here in Germany, it's just one company that produces everything.
Oh, really?
And
they're insanely hard to get into. Yeah.
Why is there just one company? Why don't you just start your own company? Start your own company,
That's a
Dani.
good question, Dani. Why don't you start your own company?
A friend of mine actually did that.
Oh,
nice.
She's amazing. She worked here in Hamburg for Schmidt's Tivoli, which is one of the smaller theaters. But long history, and she was there for ages. And now with her best friends, she started her own company in Braunschweig.
Wow.
And they're producing their own musical theater productions.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Really,
really cool.
Yeah, no, and just a short recap for people listening to the pod. In Germany, we have what's called stage theater. Literally the name, the branding of it is stage.
Yes.
So, which for English speaking people must sound incredibly strange. But basically it's this one company that does all the larger stuff like Wicked and Frozen and Mary Poppins and Lion King. And is Lion King part of stage? Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah.
Of course.
And then you've got like all the other things, like all the big musicals are all stage. And with stage, they have a very specific casting method, and they changed it, I think, 1 or 2 years ago into that only people who had already been in a stage production could apply to be cast for a stage production.
Yeah.
That's
it is
another club.
Absolutely insane. So it's kind of like the Grammys. Like you're kind of, you have to be nominated by at least so and so many members to get in.
Yeah.
You really need to have connections. It's insane.
But that's so not fair. Why doesn't anybody I don't want to say petition this, but just to start their own thing and do their own?
Too many musical. Well, this is something Daniela probably knows well enough. It's there's too many musical theater artists.
Of course. Somebody's going to do it.
Few roles, yeah.
Somebody wants to pay their bills. So somebody's going to do it.
And so does this company have, I'm sorry, still questions. Does this company have like a contract with all the theaters maybe, and you can't get
the theaters.
They own them.
They own them all. Oh, that's a bitch.
Yeah. The company is from the Netherlands, and after Job van den Ende, he started this daughter company here. I guess it's a daughter thingy. I'm not so sure. And it's the biggest production company here.
Wow.
And there's not much else. There's one other company that's bigger, but
but not in the same way. Yeah, that's weird, because for such a huge country, how can one company have the monopoly on musical theater, like as well as having the theaters as the actors? As you know, in Belgium it's such a tiny country, but we have like a gazillion production houses. It's so weird.
I honestly don't know how it happened, but I remember also just short interlude. I remember being in Aladdin, not on stage, obviously, sitting there with my friend who wanted to watch it and was like, "You need to go watch this with me." I think she'd seen it before and loved it. And I sat there, and I must have had like a third. What do you call it? Like you've got the under. You've got the main
wing.
What?
So a swing? Somebody
Is
who's
it a swing?
usually
Yeah, like dritte Besetzung. I don't know what that
are you
is.
talking about?
So basically, you've
the
got the first lead, and then you've got like, oh, okay, if that
alternates.
one's sick, then there's another one who can go in, and then if that one's also sick, then you've got another one who.
Oh,
can
the
jump
third
in.
understudy, basically.
Yes, the third understudy. Sorry, that was a long
Yeah,
way to
and
get to that one.
I was like,
they
is
want
it
to
the
save money.
placement?
Yeah.
No, but if they obviously they want to save money, so they don't have a third understudy. They have people in the ensemble who
Yes.
do
And
everything.
That was what it was. It was somebody from the ensemble originally who then played Jasmine. And I sat there and I listened to her butcher the songs. And I was like, her depths are fine. Her heights are shit. Why did I pay 70 euros for this?
Wow,
That's what I don't get. Yes.
And that's a cheap seat.
That's a cheap seat.
No.
Yes.
This is not, something needs to be done about this. Okay, people, something needs to be done in Germany. This is not fair.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
it's really sad because I'm not an accountant, so I don't know what are the possibilities there. But even in the orchestra, there are like five keyboards and a few instruments around, and the sound is not great.
Okay, so it's just a club basically to make money off of.
For people who have no exposure to live music, for them it's amazing, and they pay up to $180 for it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really great that you're bringing this to the schools, like wherever, and I hope that you can work some more in Germany as well. Because if going to musical theater is that expensive, obviously, kids aren't gonna get in touch with it, and it's so important to just see something else, like a way to express yourself in public, like on stage, and work together on a show like that. It just creates such a bond as well, and I think that's really cool that you're doing that. And so what is the next project?
We're not sure yet. We want to go back to Cape Town, and the school would be happy to have us, but it's so hard to plan right now because what's going to happen next fall, and the school always needs like a year in advance to plan a project of that size, because we are practicing with the whole year, mostly 7th grade or something. And so we are interrupting the school daily business there quite a lot.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Interrupting nicely.
Interrupting with like good things.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, every teenager's dream is to perform on stage. Not.
It is. No, it is. Isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, mine was.
Mine was too.
Yeah,
but that's why we're in this industry.
That's just us three, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what is your favorite musical to go and watch?
Oh, that's tough. Because there are a lot of shows I love dearly, but they're not necessarily good. When I was a teenager, I was madly in love with Phantom of the Opera. I saw it for the first time when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
And I didn't even get what was happening. When I was 5, my mom went there, and it was after Cats, the first huge musical theater production here in Germany. And I listened to the tape recording and I didn't understand what they were singing because, children that small, they don't get it. They don't get what somebody's saying when he or she is singing opera. It's just, it was vowels flying around, but I loved it so much.
Jancovich.
Today, Andrew Lloyd Webber's not my favorite composer anymore. And it's kind of predictable. And I know it's not the best show, but it has a special place in my heart because that got me into all of it.
Yeah, that's what sparked the interest.
That's why it was so great for me, because I was so small. The only thing I got was the feels, nothing else.
Exactly.
And a story being told by singing and beautiful music, that was...
Yeah. I mean, the music is pretty cool.
Yeah, parts of it, not everything.
Not anymore,
and
but
this-
yeah.
yeah. And the story,
Yeah, the story is
a young woman being torn between two guys, and she needs saving from both of them.
Blah,
Oh,
blah,
yeah,
blah.
great. Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
No,
But
definitely.
as a child, as a teenager, I loved it. And so it has a special place in my heart. It's not my favorite show anymore.
What is?
I really, really love Stephen Schwartz as a composer. So he does a lot of musical theater or even for movies. And I loved Wicked because it was this story that was more than just the typical musical theater thing. What I was told, what I was nearly always told in auditions was, yeah, we like your singing, we like your acting, you're even a pretty decent dancer, but you're not the pretty one, the cute one, but you're not the old one yet. So
how can you not be the pretty one? What the? What?
I know, right?
Yeah, but the girls who play those roles, they are like teeny tiny,
and blonde or something.
teeny tiny
Probably,
blonde,
yeah.
and everything.
It's Micah. Micah.
Yeah, because I'm teeny tiny, sure.
Yeah, and a specific type of person, and I'm not that.
Yeah.
And it was hard to realize that it's perfectly okay not to be that kind of person. But in the beginning, I had to cope with it.
I see, yeah. And so what kind of roles did you then play? Was it like, so like not that
I'm always the wicked witch.
You're always the wicked witch.
Yeah. Evil stepsister.
Good part to play though.
Yeah. I would have loved to play the wicked witch in Wicked, but not for me.
You would have been great though.
That's one of my regrets. But I saw it here and it wasn't that good anymore. So
it was great in London. Yeah.
Oh yeah, London is so well known for it.
My favorite musical, I don't know why, I don't remember the storytelling, so I don't remember what the story is, but from the music, I really love Elizabeth. So I don't know if they have that in English, but it's basically Elizabeth the first or second or something? I don't remember. It's about some sort of Queen Elizabeth.
The Empress of Austria.
There you go. I knew it wasn't English.
The tragic Empress of Austria.
Yes. I love the music from that. It's really good.
We've heard this before, Micah, when we were talking to Samara about singing opera in Sydney.
Yes.
She also
I was
said,
thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, that people are cast by with their stature and their type. Yeah, exactly. And so not like, are you actually playing the part well in an audition, whatever you look like, how are you acting the part? That is secondary, basically, which is very surprising. Because I mean, with makeup and everything, you can do so much. So why does it matter?
Once, when I wasn't invited for an audition, and I was really, really bummed about that, and so I called them. You're not supposed to do that, but I was like, fuck it. I really, really, really want to have the chance to audition for it. I don't care anymore. So I called them and I was very nice. And I said, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to cut off? Do I need to recolor my... I don't know. What do I need to do? And the person I talked to, she was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. We know you can sing it. You're even the type for it. And we like you. And you did it at several auditions, the songs which were necessary for that. And then she was like, yeah, but it can't be helped. You're 1 centimeter too short.
Oh my God.
You're kidding me.
And that, like shoes? No?
Yeah, but it was just for another half a year. And they had the costume ready. And they did not want to change it. They wanted somebody who fit in this costume
kidding
in
me?
This is shocking. This is very, very shocking.
But Dani and I know each other. So just for the podcast listeners, we know each other. We met here in Hamburg at a job that we did together. And we've talked about this before. And the problem is kind of like in music as well, in general, is just that, you know how there's like loads of places that won't pay you for a gig.
Yeah.
Right.
Like everywhere.
And everybody's like everywhere. Yeah. Everybody's like, why don't you just not do it then? And it's like, no, because there's like 50 bands that will do it because they're like, oh my God, but exposure. And I'm like, yeah, but exposure doesn't pay the bills. Right. Yes. Also, like, if I'm going to be there and I'm bringing my fan community with me, then you pay me for the customers that I'm bringing. If I'm going to be there and I don't have a big fan community, I can kind of for myself accept that, okay, it's going to be on kind of like tell the people, oh, put something. We have a thing in Germany where you pass around a hat, you know, and just like, and you get pretty decent money from that, depending on where you are and how good you are. But it you know, it can work. But it's the same or similar in musical theatre. If you've got like one part to fill, you've got what, like 500 people auditioning for it.
Yeah,
it's absolutely insane. And then you're gonna find whoever you want, even if that person is not the best singer or actress or dancer. Yeah,
true. Oh God, that's really depressing. And you know, I think if a lot of people would know this before they actually started like studies for it or having a passion for it, I think they would be like simmered down very fast. But that's very sad. You know, it's very sad.
Yeah, but you know, it depends. For some people it is. For some people it's amazing. They get into a big company. They start out there and they work from that day on. Or they don't necessarily need to be that good. So
it's just they're like 1 centimeter.
They're the exact
type that they it's a bit strange to me. It's a bit strange,
and it's really annoying because it doesn't come down to skill anymore.
And I mean, with everything going on about diversity in the world right now, do you think, Dani, that would ever change, that they would open that up more?
I'm not sure how it's going to be here. Recently I saw on Instagram that Phantom of the Opera in London has a woman of color as their Christine. And I was like, yes, finally, great.
Yeah.
And I think in America, it's not that uncommon. It's, but in Germany, I'm not sure when this will happen.
Let's hope
soon. Let's hope soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would hope it happens. I think it's really hard because it is just that one big company, and that one big company needs to decide it. I think the smaller theaters don't actually care that much. Yeah. Like the smaller theaters, they cast based on skill. As far as I've been in smaller theaters before, and they've always been really good. So it's really just this huge production company that I've had bad experiences with going into the musicals. And like, as a person who knows when somebody's singing off key, it just really annoys me, having paid that much money, to then have subpar singing where I say I could have done that better. Like even me having, I can dance. I could, with training, probably do what she did, because the leads don't actually have to dance that much a lot of the time. I can kind of act. Would have worked out. I would have probably been like pretty shit at acting, but really good at singing.
Yeah.
So it would have probably been the same as that chorus girl, but I would have sung better. So it's just kind of like sitting there knowing you can do it better is so depressing.
Paying money for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
but there are state-run theaters here in Germany, and they do musical theater as well. And usually it's good what they do, because they have directors from somewhere who are really good at their jobs and know what they do. So there are possibilities to work here, except for this company, but that's just the big one. I'm not sure if that will change, because last week I saw Frozen here, and the audience is going nuts in there. They
But was it
love
good?
it.
Was it good?
It was decent. I went there because a friend of mine trains kids there for the children's show, and they were really good. The first time I saw kids that were really good on stage.
Well, good on her.
And the audience was blown away by the magic of it and this huge stage with a lot of lighting and special effects and everything. And
it's the new stage.
Is it the one on the water?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that they did Frozen already, like in 2019 when we met. There was Frozen there as well.
I think they were planning it, but it hadn't done it yet because I think it was during COVID. Yeah, they postponed a lot of stuff during COVID. Like Wicked was supposed to happen in 2020 or something, and then it didn't because of COVID. So it happened like last year?
I remember seeing that on the. Remember when we crashed the Hangover cruise?
Yes,
we crashed the Hangover cruise in Hamburg during Reeperbahn, and then we could see all the theaters because we did like a little cruise on the river there, and then
I think that theater started out with Tanz der Vampire, which is also a musical that I don't think exists in English. So it's called Dance of the Vampires, and then it's a really good musical. Movie. Yeah, and then it went from that to Mary Poppins, and from Mary Poppins to Frozen, I think.
Oh no, this soccer show was there, the Wunder von Bern.
True. Oh my God,
that was the first one. They built it for a show that is about soccer.
Let's bring it back to a different question. A question I've been wanting to ask you is generally. In the music industry, we've talked about this before, it seems like women are the minority. But in musical theatre, from all I've heard, women are in the majority.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Tell me about that.
Well, there's not much to tell about it. It is what it is. I think it's of 10 people, 8 women, 2 men.
But these are actors or the whole crew?
The whole crew. So there, of course, in dancing, it's not that much a difference, I think, but I don't know the numbers. But there are more roles for men in general, and more women who want to play those roles.
All right. Okay.
So wait. So it's like kind of like in a movie where I saw some numbers recently that if there's 50% women and 50% men, the general audience thinks there's more women than men. So they cast more men and they do like 70% men and 30% women. And then people think that it's the same amount of women and men. Is it kind of like that?
Possible. I don't know the numbers, but it's it's very possible.
So basically you have a load of women who study and train to be musical theatre artists. You have about a fifth of that in men, and then you have more roles for men than you have for women. Make it make sense.
Yeah, I can't. And more interesting roles for men. So it's gotten better, but it's. I listened to your episodes about Disney movies, and it's the same thing. You know, it's most of the roles for women are the princess who needs to be saved or has her journey and strives to find Prince Charming or something.
Mm-hmm. And he's just out and about doing nothing really.
So, but Frozen is a good example as a Disney movie. The only positive thing I can say about this movie is that it's not about getting a man.
Yes.
It's about sisterhood and true love between sisters.
Even though they try very hard to make it look like it's about a man.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's not, and it's progress, you know.
Yeah. The small things.
Do a lot of women then also play male roles? Because that's what we also heard, like that happens in opera sometimes. When they need like a young man. The voice needs to be, it's a woman because of the voice. So I'm not sure what they do with that in musicals.
No, I don't think so. And there are a lot of very gay boys who want to play those roles, so it's fine.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
No, I
So-
mean, I have heard of women playing like Peter Pan.
Yeah, I don't know who plays Peter Pan, but yeah, that's possible.
Mm.
But a lot of tiny male dancers would be, why not? So,
Yeah.
and most of the people I studied with, I think there were 2 straight men in the whole school.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
the other
I guess
boys,
musical theater is asking for it, right?
yes, it is. And it's that's why it's amazing.
Yeah,
It's fun.
exactly. It's diverse. At least it's
so much
diverse,
fun.
you know.
Who's the lead role? It's most
Yeah.
shows, it's a straight young hero who's the lead role. So if you do the math, you don't need to be that good if you fit in this role.
Yeah.
But why can't a gay man play a straight man? It's acting.
Well,
Oh, you can. Yeah.
yeah, of course
And-
you
and
can,
do they?
but yes.
Okay, good.
If from your appearance you are very feminine, then of course you are not the perfect type, and it's really thinking in types for
Yeah.
that role, and so you won't get it.
I see. And what about the amount of directors and people who are decision makers in musical theater? Is that also a lot of women, or is that where the men come in?
I think it's both. It depends on where you go, because when it's private productions, like in private theaters, I think it's quite equal. I think.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to those state-funded theaters, I'm not so sure. My experiences were a lot of cis white old men making decisions there.
Which would explain a lot. Hashtag
Yeah.
just saying.
One director told me when I did a production with him, he looked me straight in the eyes and was, I like you. You're doing a good job, but you think too much. That's exhausting. Stop thinking.
What? How? No.
Oh my
Women
God, I'm
can't do
dying.
that. It's physically impossible.
It's exhausting. Apparently, it's exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And he wanted to be nice. That's the weirdest thing about it.
They think
It was
they're helping you.
yes,
Yeah.
it's a genuine feeling of being kind for him.
Like, I'm
Okay, I
gonna
guess.
say something. This is gonna help her so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to
And-
bring her whole life onto a different track.
I'm just wondering, where people can find you, and what is your next project going to be?
That's a long explanation because actually I decided to start a second career because, this industry is not nice for women when they age. I have amazing colleagues who turned 50-ish and were out of work. And of course, it's wrong. And we can talk a lot about why it's unfair, why it's bullshit, because they are amazing artists. But it is what it is. And as I mentioned earlier, for me, it was always about storytelling and not necessarily being in the spotlight. So my next step is working in immersive media, in virtual reality, augmented reality, and tell stories there. I'm not yet sure how or where or what, but that's what I got into lately, and I think it's gonna be an amazing thing for the music industry. There are
Well, we're going to
concerts
have
in
to have you
virtual
back
reality.
then.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Yeah.
do a
Yeah.
separate show to talk about that when you're up and running.
Mm.
Yeah. An artist here in Germany, she is in Hamburg, actually. She's writing a musical theater production for and producing and doing everything, basically, in virtual reality, where you can step into the production.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
so
but
cool.
it's still a niche. And
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, but I mean, there's a lot of promise for expansion there.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah, let's see.
Wow.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, well, we'll put all your info in the show notes where people can find you.
I think also it's really good to kind of have, like we talked about this before, it's kind of interesting, good to have a viewpoint on your journey. Like that's what this is. It's kind of like, how did it start? What kind of, like you said, some people might be working all the time, and also this is just Germany, like musical theatre in Germany, and it just showcased all the flaws. So maybe somebody from stage will hear this and be like, ooh, we need to change things up.
Well, what they would think is we won't hire her ever.
Maybe not, but yeah, maybe somebody who will hear it who can do, make a change or do something, because it's really weird for me as a non-German person to hear that is the way that it's organized there, and it might be organized the same way in other countries too. So if any of our listeners have any experience of how this stuff is organized in your country, please do let us know. Because it's really interesting to figure this stuff out. So anyway, that's all for today. Thank you very much for tuning into Unboxing Women. And if you've ever had an experience that you want to share with us, send us a DM or tag us in your post with the hashtag #suchabitch. I'm bringing the banner out this time. There you go. You can also send us an email on suchabitch@unboxingwomen.com. Don't forget to drop us a like on Instagram or wherever you're listening to us now. And today's guest has been Dani. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
My name is Dana Rex, and I've been chatting with Micah Rose. Tune in to another episode of Unboxing Women next week. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.